Hello, I welcome you all to this wonderful lesson. It's a biology question, and we want to see how we can answer these questions that are falling under nutrition. So, this is the first exercise I gave under lesson 1. So, how can we answer through these particular questions? The first question: what is a nutrient? So you know that a nutrient is a food substance that we already know that this is coming from the word nutrition, where we get to define nutrition as a process by which living organisms obtain, consume, and use food substances. So those food substances are called nutrients. So whenever we are talking about a nutrient, you just need to understand that this is just a substance. So we say this is just a substance that gets to provide. So a substance that provide nourishment. So nourishment for one, we are talking about growth. That's the first one. Second one, we get to talk of functioning. So functioning and maintaining. And doing what? And maintaining. So we say maintaining of a living organism. So of a living what? Organism. This is what you are supposed to understand. So a nutrient is just a substance that provides nourishment for growth, functioning, and maintaining of a living organism. You are done just like that. When we move to this other one, where we are told to say carbohydrates, proteins, and fats are called macronutrients. State the function of each. So what is the function of a carbohydrate? The function of a carbohydrate. So what is the function of a carbohydrate? So the function of a carbohydrate is to provide energy. Have you seen? These get to provide what? They get to provide energy. They are called energy giving food. When we go to a protein, so let us go to a protein. What is the function of a protein? The function of a protein, these ones we can refer to them as they are essential for what? For growth. We define them as body building food. So these ones are just essential. Essential for what? For growth. So I'm going to say essential for growth. This is what you are supposed to know. We move to the last one, the fats. So what's the function of the fats? Function of the fats, this is just important for energy. So important for what? I'm going to say important. These are important for what? Important for energy storage. So we get to talk over energy what? Energy storage. This is what you need to understand. Cell membrane structures. So cell membrane structures. Cell membrane structures. So this is structures. This is what you need to know and understand. So these are certain things that you're supposed to know. So proteins are also responsible for tissue repairing. These ones, they can also be used for what? Tissue repairing. So I'll say tissue repair. We move now to this question that is here. The question is saying, explain 3 classes of food. So the 3 classes of food that they want us to explain here. So I want you to understand this. As you can see, I'm also writing down these points. So the key thing is you understanding the concept. This is what I want from you. The 3 classes of food. So you need to explain this in an essay form. So the 3 classes of food that we have. Number 1 is that we've got what we call energy giving food. Energy what? Energy giving food. So you are supposed to explain this in essay form, which I can't tell you, I can't explain using essay forms, but it is your understanding that you put here. You start explaining them nicely using an essay. You tell them, okay, we've got 3 classes of food. The first class of food is called energy giving food. Example of an energy giving food, we've got a carbohydrate. You are explaining using an essay form. We've got a carbohydrate. The second class of food is called a protective food. So there are certain foods that we get to eat that get to protect our body. And an example of that protective food, we can refer to that as vitamins. We can talk of vitamins. We can talk of mineral salts. These are examples of what? Protective foods. We also have another last one, that is body building foods. Body building. You are explaining in an essay form, not like this. I'm just giving you points. Example of a bodybuilding food, we've got proteins. So proteins are the bodybuilding food. You are done. So you've explained the three classes of food. Another question that you can find is where they tell you, what do we call the process by which complex high carbohydrates are made from simple carbohydrates? That process is called the condensation process, because there is loss of water as the process is taking place. You can have questions like they tell you to say, give two classes of carbohydrates and give examples of each. So the two classes of carbohydrates that you need to understand, they are what we call monosaccharides and disaccharides. So examples of these ones, these ones that we are calling monosaccharides, that's a class. Example of a monosaccharide is glucose, galactose. These are examples. We go to disaccharides. So disaccharides, examples, we talk of maltose, lactose. So those are examples that you have to understand. The last question that I want us to explain here is where you are told, where do we find glucose? Where do we find glucose? Glucose is found in what? In fruits. So I'm going to say this one is in what? Fruits. What if they tell you fructose? They say fructose. So fructose, where do we find fructose? Fructose, from the word fructose, meaning this one is in what? Fruits and what? Honey. This is what you have to understand. When we go to sucrose, where do we find these sucrose? We get to find them in what? In milk. So this is how you are supposed to understand the questions, and this is how you need to be explaining if questions are to come in an exam under this part. The same way I'm explaining, that is how you are supposed to explain them. I guess you've gotten something, 1 or 2 points. So those of you that are interested in starting lessons with me, I'm here to help you. So you can drop a text on this number. This is my WhatsApp number. So this is +260971 0666747. This is my WhatsApp number. I'm here to help you get a distinction. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get to advance, increase in knowledge together. Thank you so much.